I'm just waiting for everyone. I know it's a little bit after 3, but I had to get an internet connection going, and I came up from a river on the farm where I was earlier. And later you will see that video after the training. I'll post it this evening on how water supply is being influenced. And yes, just waiting for more people to come on. Please just confirm that the sound is good. If you can just confirm that the sound is good. Okay, we have people coming on now. I said 3 o'clock, it's a bit after 3. Yeah, please click the like button so that more people will be shown this live stream. Okay, we have 14 people now. It's starting to increase. And hopefully we will be able to do many more of these questions and answer sessions. So I'm going to need, higher realms, I'm going to need you to share these videos and then ask questions in the comment section, and just keep in mind that there's other people sending in questions too, and when there's too many, then it could become a handful. So just watch the stream. If the stream is running too fast, it's going to become very difficult. Hi Lizette. Okay, sound is good. We have about 30 people now. I just said that I just came up from the river on this farm where I'm staying right now, Santa Paloma, in East London, and I will be compiling a video later of the water problems that was experienced here. So I will be putting that video together. I interviewed Francois, the owner of the farm, on what has been happening, and it'll show you that government is absolutely does not have our best interest at heart when it comes to water issues. And I mean, water is one of the most important things that we need to be concerned with. So please fire away. This is a follow-on of the first live stream. I said we'll come on at 3 again, and you can ask me questions. And I said anything that you're unsure of, anything that you've heard and seen that you want cleared up and get my perspective on history as well as the future, I will answer. Hi, Nicodemus. We'll be seeing you in KZN soon. Tomorrow we're leaving for Port Shepstone. Hopefully some of the people from Port Shepstone will join us here on the live stream. And here's the number to contact: 067 07 6428 to join us in the meetings in Port Shepstone. I've just put it in the stream. So those are the numbers that's the number you can contact. Any questions in this question and answer session? There's many things that I can talk about, and I can tell you that this next video that I'll be putting out after this one, I will do it after we've given our training this evening. So, hi Debbie, nice speaking to you this morning. People who have Debbie else here, someone that is fighting on the ground, doing things on the ground. I encouraged Debbie this morning to do one simple thing: do what she's doing, what she's passionate about, and that is what I encourage everyone to do. Make sure that you do what you are passionate about, drive it as hard as you can. And then you cannot be divided. When we have a lot of people attacking things from all sorts of angles, then in the end we will win. Subversion is a very powerful thing, and it's the last thing we need in our midst. When we'll be in Barry, we will come to Limpopo now. When we're up in Gauteng after KZN, we're going to be away from Cape Town for a long time, and we have to spend time in Limpopo, the Northwest. So Barry, you can contact us and let us know. We obviously need to arrange accommodation and a place where we can actually have a venue to have the meetings there. So we need to finalize those. The cashless society is already happening. Set 14. Hi, Busybody Blue. So the cashless society, we're already getting to a cashless society. So you can, at this stage, you can buy many things without using cash. So we're already in that transition. But just remember, you can use a note, which is a fiat currency note, to do transactions that other people cannot see. And this is the problem with fiat currency for this new world order that we're entering. So they want to be able to monitor everything. And with cryptocurrencies being payment or token system being payment, every transaction will be able to be monitored. So the moment you get rid of cash, you get full control of all transactions. Limpopo trainings in April. Yeah, that'll be awesome. We'll be in Limpopo in April, definitely. Yes, Lizette, we'll contact you. Well, the training sessions, I don't want to discuss that in detail now. If you've been to a follow-up meeting, contact me personally, and then I will tell you exactly what it's about. At this stage, what we're trying to do is not let any other groups that want to subvert what we're doing uh, try and copy and paste, because that is a huge problem at this stage. And we need to make sure that we don't let that happen. And most of the people, when I speak to Rainer or I speak to Debbie or whoever I speak to, I tell them, hold what you do close to your heart and discuss it with people in person as much as possible, because someone else will grab your ideas, say that they're doing the same thing and not do the same thing. And this is a huge problem. And you should all know with the hashtag direct elections, which route that took, with a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon doing a subverted version of direct elections, which is not going to help anyone. All right, Juliet, thanks for coming back. Yeah, thanks, Debbie. We haven't we haven't been together in a long time. We've just been chatting on the phone. But you know what? I've told most people that want to do something, they need to be on the ground and meeting with people. And this is what Debbie is doing that. Rhino is talking about doing that. We'll see. You need to be active on the ground to be able to influence things. This is very important. Hi, Darwin, Mark. Is Bitcoin okay? Bitcoin is a future currency that will replace gold. This is the intention. So you'll see a lot of media around it. You'll see many Reserve Bank governors speaking out against it. Just remember, the very same Reserve Bank system that was created by the Rothschilds, they will destroy that system to make you think they're saving you with Bitcoin. And they were the very people that created Bitcoin. So Satoshi Nakamoto is not a person. It is the council that runs the world. That's who it is. So you can use Bitcoin to earn fiat currency that you can use to exchange for the 5 goods you need for survival: water, food, shelter, energy, and something to keep you sane. And I will repeat that over and over. Anything you can use to do that. And if you have the skills to do it, do it. Use it. Make use of it. Do you recommend moving out of the city? Micah Hitchcock. That is a difficult question. That's personal preference. What we are doing, if you come to a follow-up meeting, you will know that we are preparing people where they are. So it doesn't matter if you're in a metro or if you're outside the metro. We need people everywhere to be a part of this movement to become self-reliant, independent citizens. And then you stand strong where you are. If you remove yourself to an area and you try and be a little group somewhere, it's pointless, because you put a huge target on your back when you do that. Okay. We been through Port Elizabeth already. We had 2 meetings there, 3 meetings there, in fact. 3 meetings in Port Elizabeth. So we'll be back there again soon. We will probably end up settling close to PE. My wife is actually looking at Jeffreys Bay as a possible base in the Garden Route Eastern Cape area. It's quite central. So that's something that we're looking at for an extended period of time. And then we're also looking at being in Gauteng for an extended period of time, because we can access the Free State, Northwest Limpopo, Mpumalanga, KZN from Gauteng. So we might actually do a 4 or 5 month stay in an area like that, and then we might do an extended stay on the Garden Route Eastern Cape area to try and cover all of those areas. Like-minded people, we have people that are like-minded in extreme metros living in flats. We have like-minded people living on the most remote farms, so of the Northern Cape, in the Karoo. So I don't want to distinguish and separate, because this is problematic. If you're united around values and principles, you cannot go wrong. And this is what's vital here. This is not about going and clubbing together in one place. Yes, communities living on permaculture farms or communities living on small holdings and things like that is beautiful, especially if the people work together to support each other. But just remember, you cannot go and say the entire country must now live in the Western Cape and we're going to separate from the rest of South Africa. It's really a bad idea and it plays into the United Nations hands. Hi, Darwin. There is a military helicopter flying non-stop in escort. Lucas, find out why they're flying there, which base they're from, and then we can try and get to the bottom of that. Is there anyone knowing why military helicopters are flying in the escort area? They could just be exercising. They could be flying around supplies. You know, our military is used for anything but doing what they're supposed to at this stage. So who knows? James, if you inherited 250 million rand, I would invest it in the security of the country because you should be able to. If you have the money, it could soon be nothing. So you need to convert that money into either water, food, shelter, energy, or something to keep you sane for the long run. But you can contact me and then we can discuss how you can use that to secure your future. Because there's a lot that you can do with funds like that if it's converted into something useful. And there's a lot that can be done. It's endless what you can do with that. Hi, Lisa. What about getting all of the thought leaders around sovereignty in SA into a think tank which works together? How severe is the issue of ego and agenda and all of these individual movements? These are extremely, extremely bad. And it's not just bad, it's, it's it actually disables anything that you want to do. And I don't think it's about ego. I think it's about ideas that are so different. It's like in the United States. You cannot ask people from the extreme Democrats and the extreme right wing groups to sit around a table and come up with a solution. It just won't happen. So you get the normal moderate Republicans and the moderate Democrats. They can often agree on things, but the people on the extremes there's nothing compatible. And just remember, if there's two ideologies that divide people that are polar opposites, how do you reconcile that? So that is very difficult. And I'm using extremes now. So individual liberty versus the greater good of mankind. Those are two polar opposite ideologies. And either you believe in one or the other. There is no gray road in between at all. And this is where things become complicated, and a lot of people get confused about that. But most organizations, movements, individuals, they got a platform because there's very specific things they believe in. It's your job as a citizen. If you are a citizen and not a subject, you will try and find out which one will give you the best outcome and then follow and promote it. And that is what good citizens do. It's good that lots of people have different ideas. I might disagree completely with those ideas. I might think that they'll completely lead you down the garden path. However, it's important that you consider those ideas, see what you believe in, even if it's just a portion of those ideas or what you don't believe in, and then make a decision and decide who, what, and where you want to back things, put your energy into something. And what I'm asking people to do is to put your energy into yourself first. You become the first form of government, then your family, then your community. And then you get the first form of government, which is your local council. So it's important that we do it this way. In my opinion, anything else is a waste of time. So anyone that asks you to follow them, that they have this golden nugget, that they have the golden river, this golden solution, they are fools, and you're a fool to follow them. So I will never ask anyone to follow me. I won't support anyone that says that you must follow them. You can follow a plan or an idea, and there's many plans and ideas out there. You can come up with a plan and an idea yourself. So many people have said to me that think tanks needs to be created. You can't create a think tank if everyone does not have the same goal. At Kubik Nuclear Power Station, I was a project manager, till September of 2018. Everyone that sat around a table when I chaired meetings were there for one goal. They didn't all have separate goals, and this is the problem. So once you identify a common goal, then people with different cultures, religions, and backgrounds can sit around the same table and they can have a discussion. And you call it a tabletop or whatever, but that works. And but only under those conditions. You can't have people with different ideas sitting around a table coming up with a good solution. It'll never happen. Lisa, I hope that helps. Nicodemus van Rensburg, what do you think of the Move 1 Million group? All I will say is pass, because I don't know who the leaders are or what they're doing at the moment. So I don't know. Anyone that does things that like random acts of kindness and so on, I will support those random acts of kindness. I hope I make myself clear with regards to that. Hi, Rita. But Nicodemus, you can always contact me directly, and then I can give you detailed information if you're interested. Lucas, hi. You have a farm? Well, the thing is, in future, if you want, I can give you a platform. You can speak to people, and then there's many farmers that are looking for like-minded people to actually come and live with them on the farm, actually work the farm, even build homes there, etc. I think this will happen more and more around the country, and I have nothing against that. I think it's wonderful. I mean, that is a sense of community. As long as you're not exclusive, this is key. You cannot be exclusive. So anyone willing to live that kind of lifestyle should be welcome to be a part of it. Um, John Vincent, hi, Dave's been watching you for the past year from P. I am bedridden. How can I access a meeting? I will come and visit you personally. That's how. So please contact me. And the next time I come to Port Elizabeth, I will personally come and visit you. I've done this many times in the past. It's great. We have 90 people watching. We have 35 likes. If you can hit more likes, then more people will be able to see the stream. So please contact me and then I will be able to visit you directly. Darwin Schwartz, I think that the world had lost its mind. I personally don't think going to another country is the answer, as if you watch what is going on in other countries is frightening. Absolutely correct. South Africa is absolutely the best place to be. People, anyone that thought of leaving the country before, they must be absolutely worried sick about their decision now, unless they are chasing money. And if they care about their freedom, then they certainly will make sure that they move back to South Africa. With all of our problems here, if you come to my meeting, I'll make it clear why we are the safest and the freest country on earth with regards to the New World Order implementation plans. James, oh, thanks for your support, James. David Groenewald, when do you see this collapse happening? It depends on which collapse you're talking about. I'm not a prophet. I'm not going to give people times. There's certain plans that I know that are time frames for. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen that way. So have a personal conversation with me, give me a call, and then we can talk about it. Marsha Lindorts, I believe the collapse will be in 2025. One thing I can tell you is that 2025 is a very good year for the United Nations to form an interim government in South Africa due to our government's collapse, total collapse of our government, our funding, and everything else. And that is certainly on the cards. We can change that around. We can turn that around. We don't want that to happen. I can tell you that now. So we need to move fast to try and stop that. What is your view on Trump? Do you think he is part of this agenda? I'm starting to think he is. Okay, the first thing I can tell you is Trump doesn't know how to lie. What he says he means. So all the people that said before that Donald Trump is doing something different to what he's saying, it's fools thinking, because he doesn't know. He says things straight. So when Donald Trump says he's manufacturing vaccines, he's manufacturing vaccines. So listen to what he says. Go and listen to all his speeches. They're all on YouTube, and believe what he's saying, because that is what he means. Exactly what he means. All I can tell you is he found out 6 months before the last elections that he was elected the same way that Joe Biden was elected. And I'll leave it there. Cape Town, I'd like training. I've attended the first 2 meetings. Awesome. I look forward to coming to Cape Town. We will be announcing that. We'll probably spend a month just doing training in Cape Town. Pleasure. I agree. You cannot go anywhere in the world without running into the New World Order. The reason why in South Africa, this new order, we are the new order. So how we behave is the order that we've created in society. And we certainly don't fall into the typical, atypical world, that this new world order that the world powers are aspiring to. We don't fit in with this new world order that they want. So South Africa has put a spanner in the works. It's not a small spanner, it's a big spanner, it's a titanium spanner. It's a very strong spanner. And it's halting me, it's stopping the progress a lot. Iron net, what is the chances for 5G to cause radiation? Okay, burn, wounds in the lungs with the resultant symptoms. Okay, none. A net, absolutely no chance. So 5G is not a radio frequency. I can say this over and over, and these are the kinds of questions that I want you to ask me, because technically I'm quite proficient with things like that. So I consider myself an expert, and I can give you exact scientific knowledge. And when it comes 5G, you call it 5G, is fifth generation technology. It has nothing to do with the frequency. It has nothing to do with the tower or anything like that. You can use fifth generation technology via fiber. So people are being fed misinformation, so that when I speak about the threat of fifth generation, I also sound like a nutcase. When the nutcases are out there speaking about things that don't exist, that's absolute rubbish. The problem with fifth generation technology is not the technology itself. It's the fact that the technology can be used to stop us from moving forward and fighting tyranny. And this is the problem. If you're putting monitoring, tracking, and tracing systems in everywhere, and you use it to stop a resistance movement or an uprising or whatever, and I don't say that people need to become involved in uprisings. I don't believe in protests and burning tires and things like that. But the moment you aren't free to protest, because you have a right under our constitution to do so, because of fifth generation technology, you have a problem. And that is why I speak of the point of no return. And fifth generation technology will take us to the point of no return. So, how it is rolled out and implemented is vital for us to understand. I don't have a problem with fast internet at all. It's a good thing to be able to communicate faster across the planet and get information to people faster and learn faster, etc. That cannot hurt or damage you beyond what we're already experiencing. There's radiation coming from the sun every day, from the universe at night when the sun is down. It's endless where we get radiation from. So no, 5G is a concept. A concept cannot irradiate you. Radio waves can, and just remember, 5G is not a radio wave. It's a concept. There's an entire band of radio frequency that you can use to drive fifth generation technology equipment. I hope that makes sense. Annette, I hope that answers your question. If you have any more questions, I can give me a phone call and we can discuss it in detail. Willem, I can see what you mean. I see most countries' New World Order programs are far more advanced than ours, but we are catching up quickly. We are catching up. You know, the World Health Organization sent their top experts to South Africa. Why? You have to ask these questions. Jacob Zuma did a lot to stop the agenda. He also stopped the development of fifth generation technology. Everyone wanted Jacob Zuma out of government. They don't understand what he was about, what he was fighting, why he wanted to withdraw from the International Criminal Court, and many other things. Once you get the big picture, if you come to my meetings, you will understand what's going on behind the scenes. Because if you've been taken for a fool by the media, like so many other people, I feel sorry for you because you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. Hi, there's any insight about the rest of Africa regarding freedom and New World Order, specifically Zambia? What I can tell you is Africa is the freest continent on planet Earth with regards to the New World Order. So people are really hard at work to turn the people in Africa into zombies, and they're doing all sorts of medical experiments to make that happen. And the evidence for that is ample. When am I in Pretoria? Very, very soon. After KZN, we will be there. So our last meeting in KZN will be in Vryheid. And from Vryheid, we will move on to Gauteng. So it won't be long now. Garrett, hi. How do we stop that? This taking over the government is a tall order. If you come to the meetings, if you come to the follow-up meeting, then you will understand exactly how we'll do it. It is a tall order with every citizen working. And if you have 1 million people literally united in their diversity around values and principles and a very specific goal, it's very easy to do. The government part is not the problem. Remember, we don't really have a government. It's just a structure, okay? The problem is to be independent from tyranny that comes from the rest of the world. So our government is just being run like a puppet government. That is why they're not a real government. And our concerns need to stretch way beyond them. I don't focus on the ANC, the EFF, or anyone like that, because really it doesn't make a difference at the end of the day. What we're doing is much bigger than worrying about Parliament and your local council. Trump is part of them. One example, he's bad mouthing Fauci now, but he had a whole year to get rid of him while he was in power to do so. Willem, I can carry on for hours. I'd actually prepped an entire file on Donald Trump. And then I decided not to do it at the time. I would have probably lost half my subscribers, which would have been a good thing. But I don't think it would have helped in the long run because most people are misinformed. And this is unfortunate. Good people are misinformed. So you're absolutely correct in the way you think. And I like the fact that you think that way. So I always believe that in the end, the people will see that I was right. And then hopefully they will come back and come to the meetings and listen to me. Many people that have been to my meetings, that have organized meetings, have been very upset with me. And it's sad. You know, some of them are absolutely wonderful people. And I can't wait for them to be back on board after they've licked their wounds because it must have been tough. You know, to absolutely believe the lies that were fed, falling for a hook, line, and sinker, you have to go through a process of recovery. And it's going to take some time for some people. Um, we would be safer having Zuma as president, absolutely. And it's not because he's a good person. One shouldn't want him as a president. There's much better people we can have as president, but he would be better than Cyril. He would not have allowed this tyrannical way of doing things. Yes, Annette Treater, I'm glad that I can point that out to you. I'm considering doing a presentation just on 5G or fifth generation technology so that we can put these things to rest once and for all. And that's why I want you to share this video. I want other people to find out the truth too. And you can go and research this yourself. Fifth generation technology is a huge problem for one simple reason. Once you've implemented monitoring that can monitor, track, and trace you, and it's used to stop you from maintaining freedom, you are screwed. I mean, how do you return from that? So I'm not saying you mustn't implement the technology that gives you fast internet. You absolutely should. What you shouldn't do is have anything that can monitor, track, and trace you, and you don't need 5G for that. You can do that with very old technology. More too much. Marsha, great question. Did I? Yes. Marsha Lindhorst, I believe I've answered that. Unity in diversity. No one unites in diversity. You're absolutely wrong. If you come to our meetings, then you'll understand how that works. So you can be very diverse. You can come from different religions, backgrounds, cultures, and you can unite under one thing: freedom. Freedom is a strong enough driver for people to unite under that banner. And if you have specific values and principles, if you come to a meeting and a follow-up meeting, you'll understand. The people that have been there will be able to tell you why it is possible. It's already working, so I don't have to prove it. Hi, Des. How do you feel about the new movement, Defend Our Democracy? It's a huge problem because it's once again a distraction. It's not just a distraction. What they are saying is that our constitution is our democracy. This is a huge problem because our constitution is filled with Trojan horses. So when it tells you that it makes you free, it absolutely doesn't do that. So defend our democracy is a ruse, and what it'll do is subvert everything I'm doing and my wife is doing completely. So, and they won't even know it. They will think that they're fighting for the good. Meantime, defending the current constitution, what they forget is that that same constitution allows you to change it for a reason. There's a reason why you're able to change the constitution. Because if the majority of people want to change, it means they don't want to live in a society under that constitution anymore. And we are there now, and we are gathering the people that will want the Bill of Rights and the Constitution changed. And if you come to my meetings and you come to the follow-up meeting, you will know in detail how and why. And if you go to Lauren Evanthia, the YouTube channel, then you will be able to see there why we have problems. If you go to the YouTube channel, Organic Humanity Movement, you will see why there's a problem. But on the YouTube channel, Lauren Evanthia, you will see the entire constitution laid out in detail, and Lauren's thoughts on the constitution and the problems with the constitution. Marsha, Cyril is not spineless, he is bought. Absolutely right. I don't think Cyril is spineless. He must actually have quite a spine to sell us out the way that he does. Yeah, that takes a lot of guts, because once the people come after him, I don't know where he's going to hide. It's going to be very, very difficult. Lizette, it is shocking that doctors who are good friends of mine already took the injection. I suspect that they strike the deal with the big pharma to receive only a vitamin shot like Cyril. I wouldn't say that. I don't know what was injected into Cyril's arm. I heard of all the people saying that it was this or that. We don't know. Nobody knows unless you were there and you actually prepared the shot for Cyril. So we don't know that. So I don't want to put out conjecture. All I know is that my body is protecting itself just fine by being exposed to all sorts of viruses and bacteria and whatnot. We have 130 people on. We have 66 likes. If we get more likes, the algorithms will show this to more people. Yes, Jasper will be in Pretoria very, very soon, eh? Dewald van Staden Naides, I missed your last meeting in JB last time with birth of our first child. Congratulations. When back on the route, the garden route, you are coming by again. Actually, we might be staying in Jeffreys Bay for an extended period of time to actually tackle the rest of the garden route in Eastern Cape. So, Dewald, we might be neighbors. Lucas Vilhelm, defending this democracy is a waste of time. You need to understand what democracy is. And this is not a democracy. We don't have a democracy in this country. So, first listen to the plan, and then you will understand what we're trying to do. Okay. Mark Bassans, you make so much sense there as well. I hope so. It would be pointless if I don't make sense. So I really hope I do make sense. If anyone wants anything clarified, please contact me. Lucas, you as well. You can contact me on 067 607 6428. I'll explain to you that we don't have a democracy country currently. And a lot of people blame democracy. We speak about this in the meetings because this is failed. This is not a democracy. Our apartheid government was a communist government. It wasn't a democracy. This government now is a communist socialist government. It's not a democracy. Swartland area, Jacobus Swart, we will certainly be there. We will spend an extended period of time up the West Coast, Swartland, the Northern Cape area. So please contact me and then we can organize a meeting in that area. Yeah, hit the like button. Thanks, Marilyn. Yes, you can meet me in Escort. That'll be great, Lucas. And then we will be able to discuss things in detail because people do need to hear the plan. It's very different to what you would normally expect. It's a complete mind switch, okay? There's no democratic country anywhere in the world at the moment. We're going to create the first democracy in the new world, so to speak. Willem says, I've seen a very interesting documentary the other day about 26 billion US dollars that Gaddafi ship here, and it's since disappeared. Do you have any knowledge about that? I absolutely do. Not just dollars, gold, Willem. Let's end it there. Let's stay alive. Linda van der Merwe, thank you, Des. This new movement part of the ANC to get votes. What? What new movement? Linda, I'm not sure which movement you're speaking about. Vicky Brandt, hello, Des. Just a quick one. Any meetings in Gauteng soon? Thanks for your dedication and videos. Yes, Vicky, we will be in Gauteng very soon. We'll have lots of meetings there. So there'll be plenty meetings in Gauteng that we're looking forward to. There's a lot of people there that need to that need to come to meetings for very, very specific reasons. So yes, I'm looking forward to that. Good luck to you and your family in your relocation. Thanks, Valerie. I don't know whether it's going to be as like a country's home at this stage. We've looked at many places in Cape Town. So we do have a few ideas, but when my wife went to Jeffreys Bay, that's where her heart just sunk and she decided that she wants to stay there. But it'll all depend. We'll probably move around quite a bit. Jacobus, yes, please contact me. Okay. Your thoughts on freedom of speech? That's absolutely necessary. You know, you cannot legislate what someone else should think and speak. You cannot legislate that. If someone hates someone else, that is their thought and they should live with the repercussions of that. You cannot put them in jail for what they are thinking or saying. You can absolutely reject them out of society and it'll be difficult for them to survive. And eventually they'll be ostracized, they'll be on their own, and then they have to fend for themselves. This is how normal society works, and that is what should happen. So freedom of speech is vital. I actually put a video of Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean, who spoke about freedom of speech in the community section of this channel. So if you go to Double O Dash, you go to the community section, you can go and search through the videos there. Watch those videos. Those are videos I haven't made that are very important. So Valerie, yes, we're coming to the Swartland. Carla, do you know how the J&J, etc. rally is going? I've heard of great resistance from nursing staff, especially in PE. It's not just in PE, Carla. All over the country, there's resistance. Remember the J&J, the Johnson Johnson's vaccine, is an experimental vaccine, and they tell you before you take it that you are part of the experiment. It's absolutely appalling, in my opinion, that something that is experimental is being used on medical staff. It's unacceptable, in my opinion. You know, other people might feel differently, and I say every person needs to make their own decision. But at this stage, no one is being forced to do anything by government, and all they will do is make it impossible for you in the future to buy food, go to the hardware store, put in fuel. If you don't have your COVID pass or COVID ID or whatever they want to call it, it will say that you've been tested and vaccinated and that your test was negative. Okay, Marsha, happy that you that I could answer your question. Please put up the link to so people can join. Lizette, um, you know, you can encourage that on your own personal profiles and so on. So I I believe that we need to filter what we do. I believe anyone on this chat group can join any organization that they feel can make a difference. I try and speak about what we need to do, and people they need to find for themselves who they will follow. And I am a proud member of OM. I believe it's the only way forward, but you might believe differently, and that is perfectly fine. So I'm not going to put links up on the feed. So because I don't want links for anything else in this feed, I want you to feel free here to say how you feel, as long as you're not going against what we're trying to achieve, because then it's pointless. Then it's pointless for you to be here. But thank you for the suggestion, Lizette. 7 grapes, my second dad. Vicky is soon. This will announce in good time. Yeah, sure. We might actually. I will still get a hold of you. We might have an extended stay in Gauteng to get a whole lot of training and many other things done. There's a lot of people to work through. And it's vital that we get that done. So we'll have extended stays in various areas to get this done. So it'll be very different to before. There's a lot of hard work on the ground that needs to take place at this stage, and that's vital. Yeah, not only medical staff, everybody, absolutely. Linda van der Merwe, there's the new movement of defending democracy. I think it is part of the ANC. If one look at the main members who are starting this movement, you know, it doesn't matter if it's part of the ANC. If you're speaking about that movement, that is a dangerous movement. That is how I see it. So this defend democracy, they're not defending democracy because this isn't a democracy. So if it's not a democracy, what are they defending? They're defending tyranny. This is what they're defending. If they're defending what we currently have, it's absolutely shocking. Mark Persans, what do you say about Cecil John Rhodes and his 17 wills to implement the hierarchical idea of secret circles within circles? Cecil John Rhodes was one of the first people to establish secret societies in South Africa. He was very influential. He helped facilitate for the Oppenheimers to take control of all the diamond mines in Kimberley, and the Rothschilds obviously paid for that. So they're all in cahoots. And his legacy will always be subversion of South Africa. He was in the Illuminati. He believed in the Illuminati doctrine. Just remember, the Bavarian Illuminati does not exist as an organization today. But there's many Illuminati in the world. People that believe in the doctrine that you should give up your individual liberty for the greater good of mankind. And this is what we're fighting. This is where we draw the line. So I can speak about Cecil John Rhodes a lot. I speak about him in my meetings when we have enough time. Set 14, what is the plan if you just say no and don't want to be part of the smart cities, reject the way? Life will become very difficult for you. A lot of the small town people are selling their property now because it's very easy for government, if you aren't self-reliant, to remove the things you depend on them for, and then you don't have a choice anymore. Okay. And that is why we are going around the country and we're teaching people to become self-reliant so you do have the options. Because at the moment we don't. But at some stage, it'll almost be impossible for you to stay in places outside of smart cities. It'll become impossible. Lisa, hi. I hear with SA tourists been banned by loads of countries due to our dodgy board negative test proof. SA is wild and untamed. Well, I think the rest of the countries want to call us that. I'll be very proud that we come up with viruses here that exist nowhere else. But unfortunately, that was a lie because 50 other countries have this new strain. As they later identified it, well, this is what they are claiming. Whether true or not, I don't know. No, we're not living in a democracy, Valerie. We're trying to create one. So if you come to one of if you come to the follow-up meeting, you'll understand how we can achieve democracy. Come, people, give me some hard-hitting questions here. Can the government force this medical experiment on us? No, they cannot and won't. What they will do is they can control what religious institutions do and what businesses do. If you're employed by a company, they can try and force the company to give vaccines to their workers. And religious institutions, the same thing, for churches to all sit together again. So they will give this carrot. There's no difference to Adam Weishaupt and the Bavarian Illuminati. There's always a carrot that will be given to you, dangling in front of you, that'll say, okay, you will be able to open up the church. All of you need to be vaccinated and tested. You all need your COVID pass or COVID ID or COVID alert or whatever you want to call it. And then you can all pack the church again. You can all go and watch sports again. You can all go to a rock concert again. And so it's not going to be forced on you. The method is far more harsh than force. Force is easier. What do I think of loving life? I will say forwards, complete waste of time. I think I'll end it there. Can the government force this medical experiment on us? Okay, let me carry on. VWM. Most of our education and history taught in schools and university mainly lies to control us. Same with the medical profession, only pushing chemicals to fill their own pockets. That's a very broad statement. I can tell you that most training institutions were infiltrated with Bavarian Illuminati doctrine, this whole greater good ideology. And when the Rothschilds created communism and capitalism, what they did is they created socialism in the middle to give us the pathway to the new world order. And so in most schools and universities, socialism is being taught. You might do a scientific course, but you'll be doing more politics and more socialism than anything else. So, yes, the pharmaceutical industry, for each of you, you need to decide what you think of the pharmaceutical industry and what they are doing. Think of the alternatives, people. And once again, come and attend the meetings, attend especially the follow-up meeting and decide if you want to become a part of the solution. Tonight, we're going to have many people that wanted to become a part of the solution. They're going to come together here and we're going to have a very special time together. And we'll do this around the country. So once you know what our plan is, what we propose, because we do have a plan, a rock solid plan. It's the only plan that's going to work. Anything else is a waste of time, to put it mildly. Ramaphosa was one of the creators of the Constitution, makes a lot of sense. Not just that, he was part of the complete subversion of the mine workers and many other things. You know, NUM was meant to control the mine workers, not to give them freedom. So I don't know what the situation is with the test. Lisa, all I know is the test itself cannot test for the novel coronavirus. So the novel coronavirus cannot be tested for. There's no test that can test for it. So we are testing for the common cold virus, and this is what the tests are doing. So it's by association, they believe that you're positive with what they call a novel virus, a SARS-CoV-2 virus, when you test positive for a common cold virus, which is the normal coronavirus. Oh, there's a kitty cat in the background. New acquisition. Tiny little kitty cat. Was a female till yesterday. Today it is a male. Hi, Juliet. Des, I personally know two people that have resigned from their jobs because they were threatened by the employer to get the vaccine. A perfect example. Absolutely, Juliet. I know of many people. A lot of people have contacted me. They've received official letters from the employers to say that they need to get the vaccine or need to leave the company's employ. I know many of them have been taken to the CCMA, and some of those companies have withdrawn their requests. I can name Petro SA. I can name Pick and Pay, and I can name First National Bank, of which I've seen documentation to that effect. Now, I don't know who of them have withdrawn that or what the status is at this stage. Would demonstration rules change in future? Please, there are bills that's being passed in other countries in the world where they're trying to stop demonstrations. But what my plan uh, will never involve a demonstration at all. Awareness campaigns is one thing, yes, but I can tell you for sure that the plan my wife came up with doesn't need demonstrations. It needs face-to-face people talking to each other, a lot of training, a lot of work and effort. That's what it's going to take, and then we will win this. With them, Chantal. Hello, this. What about Eskom? How are we going to live with so many blackouts? Well, that's what you have to do at this stage. I will do a separate video just on Eskom, a live stream, and then you can ask me questions on Eskom, and I will be able to help you as much as possible. Just remember, in 1998, a white paper was released that said that we need to put in more generation capacity. This didn't happen. It was a Thabo Mbeki administration refused to build any more power stations, and Eskom has been on the back foot ever since. So you cannot go and attack Eskom and just blame them for what's going on. You have to look at the history of what happened. Once you're on the back foot with installing generating capacity, it's very difficult to catch up because there's a long lead time in building power stations, and if you're trying to speed it up, mistakes are made. I hope that answers your question. The PCR test is useless. Yes, I agree. More too much. I don't want to speak about Willem Petzer. I had an interview with him before, and I have since not have another interview with him and won't in future. I hope that answers your question. I can't say how someone is at any given point in time. I haven't spoken to Willem, so I won't know. I don't want to attack a person on my channel because there's absolutely no point in doing that. You should be able to see it by speaking to him and seeing what he's doing, seeing what he's focusing on. Is he focusing on things for all South Africans? That's a question that one has to ask. Is he wanting a solution? Because that is the main question for me. What solution is being proposed and driven? And does it include all of South Africa? And is it doable? Marsha Lintos, I can heal the body with diet, pharmaceutical company needs to fall. Marsha, please spread that word everywhere. I agree with you. It's very sad. Yes, they are at Pick and Pay. Okay, Ero Sambo, South African Constitution was never written by a South African. It's duplicated documents from Britain. Absolutely correct. Thank you for that. I'm glad there's someone else that realizes this. It's a very important thing to understand that our constitution are not South African. It was all an eye blind. Lizette Snyman, there's you mentioned at Louis Trichardt meeting and again recently about the water supply that shouldn't be trusted. Should we stop buying water, cool drinks, etc., or shall we discuss this in Limpopo? We can discuss it in Limpopo on the ground, All I can tell you is I'll do a video. There's a video I'm putting together later for you. I'll release it this evening on a situation on the farm that I'm currently on. If the water in your taps are still certified as good, you need to decide if you want to drink that water. It's a decision you have to make. There's plenty places in the country where I know I cannot trust the water and don't drink that water. And at this stage, you need to make sure you're drinking water you trust. And once again, if you come to the follow-up meetings, you'll get everything that you need to keep yourself safe. So it takes people that want action. Quote, prevalence of fraudulent PCR tests in South Africa, which are required for international travel, is of equal concern, according to the CEO of regional carrier Airlink. I would be worried about the PCR test, Lisa, because it proves nothing. I'll just end it there. There's nothing more to say. Have hospitals, this is T. Christie, have hospitals been given instructions not to resuscitate patients even if they don't test positive for COVID? All patients I don't know if that is still the protocol now, but the last time I spoke to a family of mine that works in hospital, it was confirmed that the protocol was not to resuscitate anyone. No one is to be resuscitated. Because most of the hospitals weren't doing tests at the time. Can supermarkets deny us access if we don't have the so-called vaccine? Absolutely. A supermarket can deny you anything. It's right of access reserved, right of admission reserved. So any business, you have no right to walk in there. They give you the right to walk inside. It's a business. It's an entity that is regulated. So this is why. Come to the follow-up meetings. People, come to my meeting, come to the follow-up meeting. To me, the follow-up meeting is more important because there you get the nuts and bolts. And then you will understand why we need to do what we need to do. I cannot emphasize this, that you have to hear the plan and listen to other people's plans too. Absolutely do that. I encourage that. I don't tell people, don't listen to this one, don't listen to that one. Listen to everyone's plan and then you make a decision. That's very important. But then you will understand why we need to take the measures and do what we need to do. Thank you, Des. Relieve the resistance each countrywide. Really worried about what this will cause in future, health and free trade wise. When we have the numbers, Carla, it doesn't matter what any government thinks or another government thinks, because you have people on the ground that are empowered, that are strong. Nothing can beat that. Nothing. I don't care who you are. Not the American military, no one. Hi, Des. What's your opinion on powering a household using a gas generator worth the effort? Anything that you think or research is worth the effort for you, do it. I can't decide for people what to do with regards to generation. What I encourage people to do is to be energy independent. Not just that. If you come to the follow-up meeting and you become a part of the solution, you'll get extensive training. You will know exactly what you need to do. Dorothea, I think you asked this earlier. Will we be forced to live in the smart city? Many people won't be able to live outside it because of how conditions will be manipulated. That is rather the answer. So no one will be forced anywhere. You won't be able to live in the alternative. Does that make sense? That's what will happen in future. And you won't just be able to live on a smaller farm. All of that farmland will literally be used to restore nature, where no farming will take place anymore. This is already starting to happen around the country. Cabello Kenzo, Africa. RT-PCR is not the suitable test for infectious disease. Absolutely correct. Even the founder of the test said that you can't use it to see if someone is positive or not with a specific disease. Remember, tests cannot test for a disease. The PCR test can test for a portion of the RNA of a coronavirus, which is a common cold virus. That's all it can do. It can do nothing else. We don't add fluoride to water in South Africa, as far as I know. We add chlorine. The US uses fluoride and many other countries. So as far as I know, we add chlorine to the water in South Africa. Nella, have you been to the meeting where Lauren tells you the plan going forward? Because a follow-up meeting, Lauren does that meeting. And then after that, there's meetings following that if you decide to become a part of the solution. That both myself and Lauren is involved, but I do most of the work there. And that is what I'm exciting about. That's the most exciting thing for me. Considering what happened to the Tanzanian president, I worry about your health. Listen, I've been through a lot in my life. I do things the way I do it for a reason, and this is why it's been successful. Not in spite of how I do it, because of how I do things. So let's just leave it at that. So you don't have to worry about my health, but thanks for the concern. Juliet, sorry if I missed it. When you guys are arriving in Gauteng, please plus minus. I have about 15 friends who really want to attend the meeting. Juliet, I will announce it on the Facebook group soon. So if you're not on the Double O Days Facebook group yet, please go there. You'll find the link under all my videos. If you're not on Facebook, you can follow that link. You can still see the notices on the group without being on Facebook and having a profile. So you don't have to be on Facebook to see the notifications. That's why I put the link underneath each and every video so that you can go and see the notifications. And Gauteng will be after KZN. I think it's around the middle of April, if I'm not mistaken. It could be a bit later. Marsha, I want to come see you when you're in Sheppey. I'm in Sheppey too. Must I send you a personal message? Absolutely. Marsha, you can send me the message and then you can come through. We're going to be there for at least 5 days, if I'm not mistaken. Mark Passans, the creator of the PCR test, mysteriously died before the COVID-19 pandemic was declared. There's many mysterious deaths, and yeah, like my father's, we can carry on and on, but that's not a good discussion to have. Lizette, so if we are forced off the farms and we don't want to go, can they really force us? You know, Lizette, what will happen is you will have no water, you will have no electricity on that farm. So that is how people will get forced off the farms first. Not physically, but by making it impossible for you to get supplies. So if you don't have supplies on the farm and you're dependent on government or large corporations, you won't make it. If you're independent and you've prepared, then you'll be able to survive there. And then they will have to go to the point where they have to physically force you, because we're not there yet at this stage. Holy Smokes 44, good afternoon. Days just caught the stream. What about nuclear generated power becoming a more widespread option for the country? You know, nuclear energy is a perfect solution for South Africa because it's excellent baseload, and Quebec has the best track record of all power supplies in the country. It has more than a 90% availability factor. It's just over 30 cents a kilowatt hour, so it's more than 10 times cheaper than the cheapest wind turbine running at the moment. And the thing is, we do need baseload in our kind of economy. But remember, these New World Order stooges want to destroy their economy and create something completely different. So they don't care about the fallout of that. So yes, nuclear energy, I would love to see another twin pack built next to Quebec Nuclear Power Station. It needs to be regulated properly. So we need to soup up the regulator. We need to keep the nuclear expertise. You know, the amount of time that has been spent on creating that kind is immeasurable. And the skills you learn from the nuclear industry is irreplaceable. It is the best practice in the world in practice at Quebec Nuclear Power Station. And it should be implemented in government, absolutely. And that is one of the things that we want to do, is implement nuclear culture in government. I mean, why do we have government officials that won't function at the highest possible level, including psychometric tests to make sure that people are actually know what they're doing? I can't tell you what's in the vaccine. If it is even a vaccine, I have no idea. I can only tell you what the government, what the companies that manufacturing, what they have said, and you can use that and you can rip it to shreds yourself. Just remember, This is a vaccine that fools your body into thinking that it has the virus inside it. So it's not the original vaccine where you're actually giving the pathogen to the patient in small quantities. So can you still call it a vaccine? I don't know. Maybe artificial vaccine. Um, yes. Yeah, Juliet, like I said, it should be towards. I haven't put that up yet. I will make that known soon. The KZN dates are set, and then we'll be setting the Gauteng date soon. So I will make those announcements on Facebook. I'll probably put it out tonight. I have a little kitty cat visiting me on the table. Cute little thing. Like I said, yesterday it was a girl, and today it is a boy. So yeah, it was discovered that it's a boy. Look at that, walking all over the table here. It's been wonderful going around the country and visiting people, getting to know the animals, and it looks like the kitty cat wants some attention. So I'm not going to chase him away. In fact, he still needs a new name because he got a pink litter box and a pink everything. And now, yes, he needs to get a boy name somehow. And it's the owner's daughter's cat. So, yeah. In New Zealand, they tax your farm to death. They will. Just remember, farms have to cease to exist the way they are now. In future, there will be districts where people will farm for these smart or super cities. And those farms will not be a place where you will be free. So you will be monitored, tracked, and traced continuously to make sure that you fall in with the agenda. And you will be supplying the super city. The people living in the super smart city of the future will not work. They will get everything they have. And this is how they will uphold their sick utopia. And there's nothing free about it. People, I will still make a video on the fact that you won't be able to braai in future. Wait till I make that video. That one will go viral. Braai, the fact that a braai will be gone. Okay, I get your point now, Lisa, that you can buy an actual test that is negative. um, yeah, absolutely. You know, people might do anything like that in future. I'm sure you will get very soon some Pakistani shop. And this is nothing against the Pakistanis. A lot of people get SIM cards from them and all sorts that are already recad, where they'll be able to manipulate that app, give you a newly reinvented phone, etc. So who knows what people will come up with in future? Fake tests, fake COVID IDs, etc. Double Days must be the cat's name. Sure. Okay, he's walking on a keyboard. This is going to be interesting. Um, what exactly are vaccines doing for the people? What is it vaccinating against? I have no idea, Valerie, and this is the problem. And this is why Elon Musk says that my family don't need vaccines, and this is why Elon Musk's family will not be vaccinated. And those are good questions to ask. Kitty wants to go down now. Those are good questions to ask. You need to ask yourself, why do you need the vaccine? And that is the most important question. And as Elon Musk said, we don't need it, so we're not going to get it. And you shouldn't just get something for the sake of getting it because everyone else thinks it's a good thing to do. Okay, kitty cat just jumped up. You want to get up again? Okay. Hanging from my pants. Cabello? No, it's not a vaccine by the CDC and FDA definition. It's not tested and approved, but given emergency privilege. Absolutely correct. It's very important that you find out things like that. Because Cabello, the fact that you've researched that shows that you actually are a citizen instead of a subject. You do proper research, and when it makes sense to you, then you can speak with authority. And it's very important that every South African does that. Maybe you should start your own YouTube channel and actually tell the people about your research. I've never done this before. Sit and do a live stream with a cat on my back. Gorgeous. Call him Double O Des. We've gone for just over an hour now. Sandra Smith, hi Des, watching from the USA. Thanks for all the valuable information. Hashtag direct elections. People, if you don't know, thank you, Sandra. If you don't know what direct elections is, that is the future of the country. We will elect our leaders directly. They will then make up the policies that form our future. You will be able to elect people from your neighborhood, from your area. At the moment, our entire parliament, all the MPs can come from one town in South Africa, and which means they don't represent you. So our system is so flawed, it's not even funny. It's a complete disaster. So direct elections, that's vital. Get the information out there. Order the direct election shirts. Just message me and we can ship it off to you, or I'll send you the artwork and you can print it yourself. Okay, the artwork is available on the direct elections Facebook group, which has 134,000 people on there. It's a large group, 34,000 people on there. It's a large group of people. So please go and join that group and invite your friends to become a part of the group as well. Willem, get everything low. People think they will get inch thick steaks every day. I'm a vegetarian and I enjoy braais. Sad. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Lighting a fire is the problem. Of course, not. Well, the meat too. In future, you won't be able to eat normal meat. You will eat cockroach meat and whatnot. Bill Gates is coming up with all sorts of nonsense. Do you know about Ubuntu contributionism? Absolutely, Renee. Um, the Ubuntu party was there before, and many of the people that supported them have become a part of our solution because it resonates with them, and it just covers all the needs that we have to fight against the global enemy. Just like my cat all over my keyboard and shoulders all day. Yeah, this is a first for me ever. So yeah. Johan Kleinhand's vaccination companies are the only medical industry that cannot be sued. Not only COVID vaccines should be looked at, but the whole industry. I agree, Johan. I just want to mention here again that I actually sat in a meeting. I was actually providing the sound, to be honest. So I was sitting there waiting for them to finish up. The whole day, from the morning to the evening, there was a lunch where a company came and promoted their vaccines to a hospital. And during that time, they were absolutely laying out the flaws of all the other vaccines on the market. And obviously, to sell their product, it's a competition. These people aren't friends. This is about money. So they have salespeople. And then I realized all the deadly things and all the diseases and all the problems that come with vaccines. And I wasn't aware of this. That was the first time I really became aware of how dangerous vaccines can be. And this happened around 2009. So that's a good while ago. And so it's more than a decade that I've been very skeptical of any vaccine whatsoever. Time for a cup of tea. We need to take a break, people. I need to end now. We're going to start our meeting tonight soon. So thank you all for coming on. Thank you for your questions. We have 102 likes. If we can get some more likes, it'll be great. Please share the video afterwards. And then look out for the video that I'll release tonight on what happened on this beautiful farm. And on this farm, it's a permaculture farm. They give permaculture courses, and many people that I've worked with in the past and that I've had in the meetings will come for permaculture courses to actually find out how to actually live in a sustainable environment and actually be able to use the environment and cycle everything the way that it should be. It's not rocket science, it's just a way of life. Cabello, thank you for the encouragement. Been getting that a lot. We'll definitely open a channel soon. Please do that. Contact me. I can give you some advice as to and tips with how the algorithms work and the targets that you need to look at. We need more people spreading truth, Cabello. So hopefully I can be promoting your channel soon. Rob Stockel, the dark web are already offering COVID test results and vaccine certificates. Rob, yeah, today is the first time that this is brought to mind. These things obviously happen all the time, but it's the first time I hear people saying that these things are available already. Era Sambo, the only way to be free and maintain our freedoms is to have an overhaul of the entire constitution. Absolutely. That should be a start and do away with the political party system. Absolutely. We need true patriotic citizens. That was a very good summary. Yes, well done, Cabello. Direct elections. Yes, Nicolene. The cats, yeah, they trust me. I trust. Cats have always loved me. Dogs always come to me and they sit. They always want affirmation from me. So yes, thank you. Look forward to learning more about the permaculture. No, that is awesome. I'm looking forward to that. And look out for the video later tonight. Thank you, everyone, for coming on to this live feed. It's an hour and 10 minutes now. Looks like the cat wants some kisses or something. So have a good evening. I'm going to be going through my training and then look out for that video later this evening. Have a good evening. Thank you so much for coming on. Remember to share and like. Bye.